What else do you work for but for the succession to the next generations and everything like that? I mean, you don't want to be working in this space and not actually have something better to hand over to the next generations, because they're our kaitiaki of the future. So if we can, we need to tee up stuff to help them into the future. The Pukekohe area has been a food bowl for our people for 1,000 years or so. There's a lot of past sites or settlement sites of our old people there, and it was largely a place for growing food for our people way back in pre-colonisation days. When colonisation happened, you saw it become like a real food hub for the settler families and everything like that came over and started to, plant out the different areas of Pukekohe to provide food for the inner Auckland area and all the settlers. This area here in Drury is like the most intensive development going on in all of Auckland. There's 177,000 houses coming online. The common denominator of it all is the waterways. Having a restoration plan for the waterways while all this is happening and actually testing it now before the land use changes was the most important thing to us, because once all of that sort of started up, there was no going back. I just don't want it to get to a place where it's the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff and you can't do anything about it because they're all, contaminated. We need those waterways to do everything for us, TeTautaraOPukekohe is round about coming together. Auckland Council's in there, Healthy Waters is in there, iwi is in there, all the government departments are in there, all to have this conversation about how we're going to look after our whenua or papatuanuku better, and in the meantime, while we're trying to do that, how we're going to protect our waterways from the runoff from these different areas.
It's good to have a solid relationship. It was good for them to understand what we do and why we do it, and also for us to understand what they do and how they do it. And so it was really good, and I think that changed a lot of viewpoints. And the really cool thing about working with them is that they're not here to try and stop growers doing what they do. They actually want us to keep growing because they see the benefits of the area producing the quality vegetables that we do.
There's a lot of government organisations that monitor the waterways, but it's mostly in a scientific methodology and process. So we didn't have an opportunity or an outlet or maybe even a mechanism to do it on our own terms. We wanted to be able to assess the waterways from our own perspective, a cultural perspective, and then have a mechanism to actually help the waterway, restore the waterway, look at the clarity of the water, clean the water up and everything like that, address problems like sediment and silt control, build up. It's all a part of the cultural indicator. If you don't have a baseline for a waterway and everything like that, you can't collectively understand whether it's getting better or it's getting worse, sort of thing, without those baselines. There's basics to Mātauranga Māori or scientific process that you can look at it. Is it clear? You can smell it. Does it have a smell on it? Are there birds around there? Are the birds drinking from the water? Because if there's no birds and they're not drinking from the water, then you know that there's a problem there. And so these are tohu or reminders from the environment how to sort of look after the waterways. We're making more informed decisions about our environment. That's what it really comes down to, more informed decisions from all the information, as opposed to just having the water testing and then where's it going to go. In the beginning, we only had a 6-month time frame to do this stuff, and it was like we sort of had all come to an unspoken understanding that we're going to get this done come hell or high water. You got some real movers and shakers in TeTautaraOPukekohe that just won't take no from it for an answer around about things, especially those things that we hold dearest to us. A kaitiaki has an inherited responsibility through whakapapa or genealogical tie to do the best that they can within their ancestral footprint. It's different here in Auckland because we had so much land confiscated off us, so we're never going to get that land back, but we'll still always be looking over the whenua, doing our kaitiaki-tanga and our due diligence on it as we go,
You can't go wrong with collaborating because there's always ideas and and things that come out of those sort of discussions, you know, and you can come up with some really good ideas and good concepts that work.
So it's been a real successful engagement and relationship going forward, and you really need that. If we're going to fix up the whenua and fix up the waterways, then we individually can't do it alone.
Yeah, there's a lot more of it being done, and that's as we gain more knowledge and learn. I mean, it's all about what you know, right? So, and if we can do things that can make absolute change to the environment and the waterway, the growers are more than happy to do things, you know.
It's really, really beautiful to see. I mean, the transference of Mātauranga Māori from the kaumātua and kuia generation to our kids that are at school and right throughout, you know, our people has been a real eye-opener. The cultural indicator for the waterways, Te Oro Te Wai, you know, that's our tool to go in our toolkit to enable, you know, those future generations to continue on, sort of thing. I'm hoping that the cultural indicator will go through generations and still be relevant, you know. There's so much things that are happening out of the projects that we all put together for TeTautaraOPukekohe that it's, you know, it's a really beautiful thing to see so many people coming together to look after those things that mean the most to us.